Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hello viewers, this is Prasanna Kumar BR, Senior Grade Lecturer in English. I work in Government Polytechnic Kushalnagar. I welcome you all to Communication Skills. The program code is 20EG01P. This video is being recorded as part of the lecture series of Communication Skills in the Department of Collegiate and Technical Education. I am commencing my session rather abruptly by showing you a WhatsApp extract. Let's see. In this WhatsApp extract, we see chat between two friends. One person is urging the other to guess something, and the other person is denying softly. The important part of this chat extract is the last two lines. The sender sends the text no surprise and gets the reply an emoticon, a yellow face with closed eyes, furrowed eyebrows, broad frown, and two puffs of steam blowing out of its nose as if in a huff or fuming. This emotion conveys a rather negative meaning that the person is irritated and angry. The sender deeply ponders for some time and realizes that yes, my expectation was different. I expected a different response from my friend, but I got this. Why? What is the mistake? What is the flaw? Students, can you guess what is that? To know what is that, what is the flaw, what is the mistake, why has this happened? Let's go to the unit number 5, English reading skills, grammar and vocabulary. Session 1. In this session, we are going to learn. Before that, what difference does it make if you forget a comma or two? Who cares if an hyphen is missing here or a colon should be there? Words are just words, and those annoying little punctuation marks can't be that important. Can they? Can they, students? Yes, they can, and they are important. Students, just imagine if you could talk to others but could not use hand gestures, facial expressions, or even a raised eyebrows. Do you think you are conveying complete meaning? Never. Half your meaning would disappear. Half your meaning would disappear, dear students. Similarly, without dash dash dash, that is, those innocuous looking punctuation marks are just as important when it comes to communicating and providing shades of meaning and even rhythm to your writing. The dash is filled with punctuation marks. So, punctuation marks also very, very important. Before going to my actual session, let me give you the outcomes. What are you going to be benefited by attending, listening to this session? The learner will be able to recognize common punctuation marks, will identify the primary use of punctuation marks, and demonstrate an understanding of punctuation through correct usage. This is by attempting the MCQs enclosed at the end of this session. I have organized my session on 3 points. Point number 1, meaning and types of punctuation marks. Second one, importance of punctuation marks. And the last one, my overall concentration is on these 3 punctuation marks. I am concentrating on the use of a capital letter, a comma, and a full stop. Now, let's go to the first point, meaning. What is a punctuation mark? A punctuation mark is a set of standard symbols or marks you can see here with various colors. Set of standard symbols. They are in cluster. I will not tell you what it is, what is this, and what is this and all. So these are all punctuation marks are the set of symbols or marks used to clarify meaning by separating strings of words into clauses, phrases, and sentences to aid the reader in understanding what is written. So in written communication, punctuation marks are very important in conveying proper, correct meaning. So what is very important in this definition is that punctuation marks are the set of standard symbols. Now let's watch this video. In this video, we will be exposed to all the punctuation marks and what they are called in English. Come, let's watch.
Full stop. Comma. Question mark. Semicolon. Exclamation mark. Colon. Apostrophe. Round brackets. Square brackets. Quotation marks. Ellipsis marks. Hyphen. Dash. Slash. At sign. Brace. asterisk.
Yes, in this video we have seen the punctuation marks and what they are called in English. Now I would like to show you a chart. This chart displays punctuation marks. The first column has the punctuation marks. The second column has what they are called in English, and the third column has the primary uses or primary use of each punctuation mark. Dear students, you can you can pause the video and you can read each of them to understand what it is called, what this punctuation mark is called, and what is its use. Let me move on to the next slide. Excuse me. A WhatsApp extract. Hope you recall. Now let us rewind ourselves to the WhatsApp chart which I showed you in the beginning. While discussing this extract, we were thinking about the flaw as well as the emoticon. The flaw is the text without a comma, the text with a comma. The text with a comma conveys a different meaning, and the text without a comma conveys another meaning. With a comma, it conveys that I will not disclose the information. It is a surprise. You keep on guessing. Without a comma, it means no more surprises. I was just kidding. It is the inside, the meaning between the lines. I'm just kidding, no surprise. So here in the conversation, the sender of this text, no surprise, expected the meaning. It is still a surprise, and expected his friend to continue guessing. But the receiver has understood it in terms of this, what it means without a comma. No more surprise, just kidding. So the other friend felt irritated and was angry, resulted in an emoticon symbolizing irritation and anger. So what is my point is that any punctuation mark, so if we use, it has its own weightage and value, and it gives a meaning of its own. If we do not use, what happens? If we use, what happens? In case if the sender probably missed to punctuate with a comma due to oversight or speed, whatsoever it is, but it has sent a different meaning. So this is why punctuations are very important. Let's move to the next one. I am showing you one more slide. In this particular slide, there are two sentences with a common word. A man was attacked by a man eating chicken near my house yesterday. Abreast to this sentence, you see an image. Next sentence. At a restaurant, a man eating chicken complimented the chef. Here, a man eating chicken in the first sentence, which has a hyphen. In the second sentence, a man eating chicken, which is without a hyphen. With the hyphen, it gives a different meaning. Without a hyphen, it gives a different meaning. Students, we can easily access the meaning via image. In the first image, with the hyphen, the chicken is cruel and hunts a man. It is used to distinguish from a peaceful chicken. But in the second sentence, the chicken piece is in the hands of a man enjoying, and it's yummy, and he's complimenting the chef who prepared it. What point I would like to make in this example is that if you use a hyphen, how it gives a different meaning. If you do not use a hyphen, how it gives yet other meaning evidently, and it is proved in these examples. This is why we must be very careful when using punctuation marks. Now let's move on to the next one. I am showing you yet another video. In this video, we will see the punctuation marks. In addition to that, this video will give you information on the use of certain punctuation marks. Come, let's watch it.
Some of the more common types of punctuation. First, let's talk about periods. A period is a dot that marks the end of a sentence. Periods are the most common way to end a sentence because they are used to end any sentence that isn't a question or an exclamation. An exclamation will end with an exclamation point. Exclamation points are used to show strong feelings, like excitement, or show that something is being said loudly. Question marks are easy to understand. They belong at the end of questions. Anytime you have a question, you end it with a question mark. Got it? Commas can be used in many places. They are used to indicate a pause. Let's see some of the places a comma should be used. Commas should be used to separate 3 or more items in a list. They are also used to separate compound sentences, 2 complete sentences connected by a conjunction like and, but, and or. Commas are used after introductory words, clauses, or phrases to set them apart from the main sentence. You should also use commas to separate the name of a city from its country or state, and to set apart the day of the week or month when writing a date. Finally, Commas are used to separate quotations from the rest of a sentence. A quotation is something that someone else has said or written. Quotation marks are used at the beginning and end of a sentence or phrase to show that it is being written exactly the way it was written or said originally. The last punctuation mark we are going to talk about today is the apostrophe. Apostrophes can be used in a contraction to show that there are missing letters. Apostrophes are also used to show possession, or that something belongs to someone. There are still more types.
Yes, students, we watched some of the punctuation marks and their uses. Now let's move to the next point, very important one, as I said, seminal punctuation marks. The first one, capital letter. This is vital because many students, I have been observing that they commit lot of mistakes in this zone. So this is why I prefer to teach this in this particular session. I opted it and I placed it as my first preference. So what is a capital letter? Capital letter is also called uppercase. Capitalization in English is universally standardized for formal writing. It differs in form and weight. Look at the examples. B or P in uppercase, lowercase. The two case variants are alternative representations of the same letter. For the sake of legibility, both uppercase and lowercase letters are applied to a text in a mixed fashion. In orthography, uppercase is primarily reserved for special purposes such as first letter of a sentence and of a proper noun. In this sentence, the first letter as well as the proper noun of the first letters are in capital. This makes the lowercase more common variant in regular text. Now let's move on to the use of capital letters. Capital letters are used in a sentence, especially the first letter in a sentence must be a capital. In this sentence, they walk slowly. T in the word they is in capital and must be. Secondly, first word in a quotation must also be in capital. Here he should also be capital because this is the commencement of the sentence. Similarly, in email or letter writing, greeting, closing line must also be in capital letter. Examples are given. Names of the days, months, festivals must also be uppercase. Monday, March, Makara Sankranti. So where you see the capitalization of the first letter of each word. Very important one, name of a person, place, religion, caste, nationality, language, initials and titles must also go with a capital letter. Examples are given. You can read and understand as um, the color of each letter, each capital letter is in red, so that it is easily you can see through it. Very important one, the pronoun I must be capital irrespective of their placement, irrespective of its placement. Let it be in the beginning or in the middle or at the end, it should be in capital. The names of the specific buildings, monuments, streets, cities and states must be in capital, and at the end the titles of books, stories, movies, TV shows, video games must also be in capital. So in this session I am not going to deal with the rules of writing titles, because this is already completed in the unit number 1. So this is why I will not reiterate it once again. So these are all the various uses of a capital letter. So you can, whenever you need to see again and again, or you need to see it, you pause and see and take the information and work out other examples in addition to the examples which I have provided. Let's go to the very important segment. The important segment is that avoid all capitals. Many students, they write capitals wherever they want. According to their whims and fancies, they keep on writing capitals. Some students, all words will be written in capital. That should be avoided. Note, do not capitalize all words in a sentence. Let me take an example. I am busy. You notice here a unique case style with capital letters is given here. A unique case style with all capital letters. This can be used exceptionally only in headings and special situations, such as typographical emphasis in text. However, it is considered poor etiquette to type all capitals and said to be tantamount to rudeness, and it evokes anger and it shows impoliteness. This is why we should avoid all capitals. Avoid a unique case style. Dear students, I hope you have understood my point. Now let's move to the next one. It's comic, funny. Let's see the post. In this post, we see a grandma on the plate, and in the other one, grandma is invited by the audience for dinner. These are two different posts. Here the sentence is without a comma and this sentence is with a comma. In the first sentence sorry, in the first sentence, the granny is a part of main course of dish. Here she is a part for the dinner. As the title of the post illustrates, a missing comma can alter the meaning of straightforward sentence. With a correctly placed comma, it is understood that we do not really want to eat grandma, but someone is requesting that grandma to eat or join for dinner. So use comma and save grandma. A comma is a famous slow down signal. It is used to pause. Without this little piece of punctuation, the reader would misread their meanings and become very confused. Evidently, this is the example. This is required at several comma zones. Let us see where and all do we use commas. Firstly, a comma is used to separate two or more parts in a sentence. Example, all of them are different, so a comma is used to separate them. Similarly, it is used to mark off a direct quotation. The precede comma is separating the direct quotation. Next, to separate date from the year, July 20, 2020. When you are writing it in a sentence, this is going to play a vital role. So this is why a comma is used to separate date from the year. To separate clauses, if you work hard, comma, you will succeed. In unit number 1, we have worked out 10 examples of such nature. One example in the workbook is written at first, and the rest of the 9 examples were made to be practiced by the students. So you go back to your workbook in unit number 1 and you can see 10 examples like this, the use of comma. Very important thing, that where do we use comma? Comma is used when we are writing an address in a sentence. For example, at a stretch in a sentence, if you are writing, we use comma to separate house number, road or street, then area, then district, then we write the state. We should notice here that no comma is used before the pin code. So we should not use any comma before the pin code. When you are writing address in a sentence, we have to follow this. An address on the envelope cover, on the postcard. When we are writing the address, where do we have to use comma, where we should not? In this example, I have given you 2 alternatives. When you are writing the address in this particular nature, you are combining road or street and area in one line, then use comma to separate. In the next line, if you are moving, do not use comma here, because you are using district and Karnataka, the state. To separate these two, use a comma. In case if you are aligning them in another line, then there is no need to use comma. And similarly, the same rule continues, that no comma is used before this particular pin code. And in this particular example, here a comma is typed. Please, this is not used. Make sure it should be erased. So by mistake it is placed here. Okay, there is no necessity of using comma here. So let's move to the Let's move to the next slide, which is on a full stop. In the video also we have seen the first one is a full stop. A full stop is a dot. Known as a full stop in British English and as a period in American English, it occurs most commonly at the end of a sentence. Unlike a comma, a full stop signals to the reader that a sentence is complete. This helps our writing flow and make our thoughts and ideas coherent and connected. Without a full stop, our writing would be a jumbled mess. You can try this. What is a jumbled mess? You just connect some 2-3 sentences without a full stop and try to read. You understand what is a jumbled mess without a full stop. Let's move to the use of full stop. A full stop is used in the following ways. Firstly, at the end of a sentence, commonly we use the full stop. At abbreviations and titles, we use full stop. For example, M full stop, A, MA, MPhil, AM, PM, November. Not the whole month title is not written, only we have written the abbreviation of November, so we put the dot here. Similarly with Mr. short form title is also end up with the full stop, and we should. Next, indirect question, instruction and command also follows full stop. Examples follows like this. I have something to ask you is an example of indirect question, ends up with a full stop. Take out clothes from the washer and put them into dryer, ends up with a full stop. Close the door is an example for command, ends up with a full stop. So, a punctuation is used to create sense and clarity in sentences. They are used to structure and organize our writing. So, punctuation marks are important. This is why we have to use them appropriately. Now, we have come to the end part. Let us recapitulate quickly. In this session, we have learnt the meaning of punctuation mark, the different punctuation marks and their importance, and specifically the use of a capital letter, a comma and a full stop. Now let us look at the MCQs. I have added 10 MCQs for you. You pause and work out these MCQs, choose the right answer, check them with the answers provided for you here. Acknowledging. I should acknowledge and express my sincere gratitude to YouTube, English Grammar and Composition Gakar Chopra, and TKT course module Cambridge University Press for their resource to make this session a productive one. In addition to this, I am very grateful to the office of the commissioner for rendering me an opportunity in the LMS task. This is my team. I extend my sincere thanks to our team who have guided me throughout this endeavor. Thank you all. ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. धन्यवादः.